Okay. Okay. So we have here the four pillars of prosperity that never you never thought to. Okay. So we have three outlines. Sorry, the class is for entrepreneurs, businessmen, and investors. Three outline. The first one is context for the concept. Context for the concept. Number two, we have modeling the master. Number three, we have the four pillar of prosperity. Okay, so for those who are not in the class, I will have to do a little bit of revision so you can catch up with us. So we started talking about context for concept. We told us that many people want to go into business, enterprise organization, marriages, but they don't want to make costly mistake. So are looking for mentors, men who have tried it, who have succeeded. Are looking for coaches, are looking for guidance, are looking for a leader. So and for us to avoid costly mistakes, for us to come out strong. And business success coaching has become a multi-billion-dollar industry the next few years to come. So many entrepreneurs has not only be sensible, but making the right decision to choose right mentors, right coaches, to right teachers, right trainers, people that can guide them from making costly mistake. So a lot right now, we are not just depending on the formula, go to school, get a good job. We are going beyond that to get real details of people who are succeeding, who are doing very well financially, economically, socially to emulate. So there are three ways we actually reprogram ourselves. Specific incident, give yourself that experience you've not given yourself before. Of course, we have this one called modeling, observing people that are already succeeding. And the last one is what? A specific incident, modeling, verbal programming. What you keep saying to yourself matters a lot. You cannot be saying negative things about yourself you don't want to become true. So for you to one of the strategies, okay, I'm supposed to have written the four strategies. Let me write the four strategies because it's going to help us. We always write it down in almost all our sections. So the first strategy here, I've got the fourth strategy. The first one is called alignment. Because I will talk about the master now. The alignment simply means that you are seeking God first. Seek God first. Seek God first. Okay. Okay. Seek God first. That is find direction. Find direction. Find direction. Very, very important. So the next pillar that we discussed was service. So service simply means that you should multiply resources available to you. Multiply resources. Time, energy, focus. That will help you to serve people. Okay, the third, still worship. No, that is create value. Create value to serve people. Sorry, create value. Either product or services. Okay. Okay, now no, still worship. Still worship helps you to multiply your resources. Still worship help you to multiply resources. Okay, that helps you to manage and multiply wealth. Manage. Okay, the next one. Faith and action. That helps you to execute boldly. So that will help you to manifest results. Okay, so we now start saying, okay, if we are looking for coaches, mentors, leaders, to emulate, to observe. So there's a perfect man we have to look at, modeling the master. So let's see how Christ built his father's empire, his father's kingdom, because Jesus Christ is the CEO of God's enterprise. So the kingdom of God is God's enterprise and is the most successful organization and operation in the history of mankind. So he he did this, and so the enterprise have outlets and operation in many nations that are striving for over 2,000 years, and in the physical absence of the founder, as ever increasing. So, if we're going to model in, what we discovered was that we think of Jesus Christ as exclusive terms of redemption work, but that is not only thing he did at the cross to sacrifice for us. He actually built a kingdom with 12 men, and that gave birth to a movement that is increasing today, and everybody is making a joy from it. And Christ was called his work his father's business. He called his work his father's business because the kingdom is the king's enterprise and the king's domain. So Jesus Christ was the greatest, or he is the greatest entrepreneur in the history of the world, the CEO and the founder of God's enterprise on earth, and the ultimate success story. And therefore, is the very best role model, coach, mentor you can ever find in business today. So he operates in two dimensions. There's a person of Jesus Christ, which is the person of Jesus Christ. Number one, the person of Jesus Christ. He operates as the person of Christ is the source, the source. So, and also operated at the principle and the pattern of Jesus Christ, the principle and pattern. There are some principles he obeyed, and that is the strategy. So he operates into the strategy, the system. Okay. So we have to look at this today, these two things. Well, we discussed a lot about this once already. For revision, for those who missed any of our classes, we've discussed so much and start discussing the fact that he used a strategy, alignment, service, steward, and faith and action. So I was able to establish a strong enterprise that today is still making is turn a movement. So the first pillar of building wealth and making impact is that you must align. So it's very important because seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things should be added onto you. So as an entrepreneur, a businessman, always invite God into what you do. Seek God, make God the center, make God first. Prosperity with peace of mind is with the right relationship with God. Of course, will give you that sustainable wealth you are looking for. So prioritize purpose over material possession, living from divine guidance, not just pressure and comparison. The true prosperity flows from alignment, not just from hustling alone. Building your business on God's first principle will make your business succeed, will make your biggest strive to help you to make significant impact. So how do you do that? From knowledge, from prayer, from understanding, from conviction. So operating from the identity, not insecurity. So don't just chase opportunity, descending by following God's direction, of course, not just instruction. That's what we discussed about alignment. On service, we discussed that the Son of Man came not to serve but to serve. That is to say that you are focusing on solving problems and finding solutions to people's challenges in life. You always package it as a premium and make money, because money doesn't respond to talking, money responds to value, money responds to product or services. So income follows impact. And building product or service that transform the lives of people, because it must serve the need of people. It must serve people. You are creating something that can help somebody solve his problem, meet up his need, of course, to help him find solutions to whatever challenges he's passing through. He will give you money. Still, what it means to take management and leadership over the works of God's hand. So, and he gave us the parables of the talents 1 5, 1 2, 1 1. The one with 5 traded with his own, got 5. The one with 2 got extract 1 2 again. The one with 1 never traded with it. He never used his giftings like some people today. God has, even though you are born naked, you are not born empty. God deposits something in all of us. All of us have giftings, talent, creativity, vitality, fidelity, name them. But some people have never discovered their own, because your job was to first of all discover, develop, and deploy. That is your job. I will discover, develop, and deploy. Some people never discover their own. They never traded with it. They did not develop it, no, nothing at all. And they keep telling God, I don't know why my life is hard. I don't know why my life is difficult. Because your gifting, your wealth is tied to that your gift. Your wealth is tied to that your talents, that's your creativity. So you want to sit and say, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What part of God's work will I manage? As a steward, so use what you have wisely, multiply it. Faithfulness in little will lead to increase. Avoid waste of time, laziness, fear-based inaction. Prosperity grows from responsible management. So manage all your resources like time, effort, energy, focus, and with discipline and excellence, turning small opportunities to a scalable system, eliminating waste, fear, and inconsistency, taking track of your finances, your time, your energy, building system that multiplies your income, that will help you to also build sustainable wealth. The last one we discussed was about faith and action. So it's not enough to just believe. It's not enough to just say, I'm going to do something and end up not taking action with it. And that is why you have to understand that according to your, it shall be done to you according to your faith. That means according to what you see in your mind, that you become, and you take action alongside with it. it will also give the result you desire. Prosperity and wealth is not what you get by sitting down, folding up your hand and doing nothing, because faith without action produce nothing. Help me tell you, never faith without action produce nothing. So we saw so much yesterday. Prosperity and wealth is predictable when principles are followed. Because sustain is also predicted because there are principles, wealth, the laws of wealth, and are also that is principles, laws, and what principles that govern wealth, laws, and principles. I forgot the third one. I'll remember it before we finish the class today. Rules of wealth. So there are principle, laws, and rules. There are three things that governs everything God created: principle, laws, and rules. You're able to discover them so you can apply them because they're all predictable. Prosperity and wealth flows to those who solve problems, who find solutions to people's needs. So you're not supposed to be poor in any way. You're supposed to live in abundance because there's abundance everywhere. So if you're not achieving the results you truly desire, that means there's something you don't know. Because the evidence of knowledge is an improved outcome. And if you say that you know something, it should be an evidence in your outcome. So there's nothing bad about it, but remaining to not to learn is a problem because you cannot teach a man who doesn't want to learn. Principles and wealth is not the goal, it's the outcome and result of living and building with divine principles. So that's what we discussed as I yesterday. So today we're supposed to discuss the person and the principle of Christ. So I can round up this topic and put all the four pillars together and as a strategy so that anybody that desires successful wealth should go and put an alignment, find solutions, find service, find product, find value, and then become a steward over it and definitely take action with what you believe that you can solve problems. So let's start from there. The person versus principle of Jesus Christ in business. That's what we discussed today. There also have some online here. We have to clean this one so that we can write. Me, I like to write. So that let me just leave the four pillars first. So on your note, you write it like this. Person. Let me use black marker. Write it like person versus principles of Jesus Christ in business. He said, I came to do my father's business. Now that is night, because I'm day, because night will come when no man can walk. So we'll do it like this because I want to take it. I want to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So out of many things that it was his principle and source, and person and principle. Will take 5 because of the class today. Maybe that other ones can be for another different time. So we'll do it one by one. So I'll pick the first one: source versus strategy. That's number 1. Source versus strategy. So once we do that, we have to do it like this. We put here the person, we put the person, we put here the principle. So I'll give you the two of them. So number 1 here, the person, you will need to write here, as a person, in terms of source and strategy, as a person, he was a source of wisdom, direction, and divine insight. So as a person, he was a source of wisdom. As well, he was the source of wisdom, direction, and divine insight. So as a person, let me just clean this one so I don't get very confused. I was thinking I would be able to go back here, but nevertheless. Okay, so as a person, he was a source, of course, of wisdom, direction, and divine insight. So as a principle, he has a strategy of integrity. He has a strategy of integrity, which is what everybody should do. Integrity. They have a strategy of integrity, stewardship, and service. He applied to grow his business. So he was not found wanting in anything God commanded him to do. So as a person, he was a source of wisdom, of course, direction and divine insight. As a principle, he never joked with his integrity. He never joked with his stewardship. He was so faithful. He was so dedicated to service. He found something to live for. If you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. So you want to actually make impact and build the wealth as he did, you must also follow the same integrity, stewardship over the works of God's hand in your hand. As an entrepreneur, you are doing poultry farm, show stewardship. Fish farming, show stewardship, show service. With carpentry, tailoring, anything you're going for. You're owning cement company, hotels, show stewardship, show integrity. Because you don't have integrity, you don't have character. So integrity is keeping your words to yourself, character is keeping your words to other people. So that's what he did. So he keep his word to himself and to others. So that will make him a significant person in business. So we can look at him as a role model, pick 5 lessons from him, apply in our life, it's going to make significant difference. So number 2 here, we have a lot to discuss today. We have to, okay, let me give one statement here before I go to number 2. So full stop here. And I statement, write it like this. You can use the strategy, but the source gives you clarity and direction. You can use the strategy you use, and don't forget the source, because the source gives you clarity and direction. You can use the strategy to apply in your business, and but the source gives you clarity and direction. So you know what clarity is very important. Knowledge gives you confidence and clarity that makes you to understand clearly what you are doing. Once you understand what you are doing, you build confidence. So you can use the strategy in your business, but the source, applying the source of Christ principle, wisdom, direction, and divine insight, will gives you clarity and direction. So you can use the strategy, but the source gives you clarity and wisdom. So let's look at number 2. So I'm doing number 1 so I can have space to write number 2. So the first principle the first thing we look at was source and the strategy. Number 2, we look at relationship and results. I want to blue marker. Relationship and results. Versus results. Okay, so we have to look at it as a person and principle. As a person and principle. So the first one here, as a person, he focuses on relationship to guide people, focus on relationship to guide, convince, and direct people to their purpose. So he focuses he focuses on relationships to guide people, convictions, and gives direction to their purpose. And give direction to their purpose. So what never happened, the knowledge of purpose, whether I live in lack of purpose, he give direction. So that was he did as a person. So as a principle, he will base on principle when it comes to relationship and result. So he focused on results, bracket open, profit growth, system, and scalability. So he started with 12 disciples and multiplied to 120. So it was scalable things. So on principle, you're right. He focused on results, bracket open, result, S here. Bracket open, profit, scalability, and system. Okay, focus on profit and scalability, growth, and systems. So he just did that. So he wasn't just sitting down. He took time to study, he took time to learn. From age 12, he took time to fix himself and prepare, because preparation is the highest demonstration of faith. To not just go into start, of course, doing his business without adequate knowledge, and he cannot do that alone. He had men like Judas that was with a bag of money. He had men like Peter, who was a good, successful businessman, who has a fishing company, who has a boat, have boys working for him. He focused on a lot of people like that. So yeah, and he actually gave them direction. So he as a relationship, he was doing very well. As a result, he was producing results. So look at another thing that if I go there, I would like us to write this one. I'm writing like this. Principle can produce success, but relationship gives purpose and alignment. Principle can produce success. Principle can produce success, but relationship gives purpose and alignment. I wish I did not clean the 4 things I wrote before, but it's fine. Principle can produce success, but relationships gives purpose and alignment. Principle can produce success, but relationships give purpose and alignment. Why people will align with you, why people will follow your leadership is because they can relate with you. If they cannot relate with you, you cannot succeed alone. So make yourself relatable and make yourself have a human face, and that's what he did. So principle can give you success, but relationships gives purpose and alignment. So let's look at another thing here. Number 3, I'll clean this one so I can write number 3 here. Number 3, we have to look at him in terms of spiritual authority and practical application. Number 3, spiritual authority, and practical application. Practical application. Okay. So we have to look at him in terms of a person and principle. Person and principle. Okay, so we have to take one, two statement here. Let's see how far we can go today. So he on the person, he carries spiritual authority to discern, favor, and obey divine timing. So as a person, he carries spiritual authority. He carries spiritual authority. Okay, to discern, to discern, to discern. Okay, and favor, give favor, give favor, favor, and obey divine timing. And obey divine timing. Divine timing. Even started when the issue of ing have timing. When the issue of Canaan, when the marriage stuff. So he said, my mama, my time never reach. My time, I'm gonna wait. I will turn the water into wine. Muna, no worry. When my time reach, I will reason them something. Let them go fetch water, come pour. So as a person, so he carried spiritual authority to discern, to know, oh, I need to visit the pool of Bethsaida now. I need to go to the other side. He was able to discern. He was able to obey his divine instruction and obey divine timing. But as a principle, the guy did something very important. Our master did something very important. He provides practical application, what he needs to do daily in business, starting from the issue of feeding men with fish and loaves. So what he did as a principle is that provide practical application okay. He provide, let me use blue marker. He provides practical application. He provide practical application of the DMO, daily method of operation. Daily method of operation. DMO, DMO. That is daily method of operation. Daily method of operation. So you don't just operate anyhow. I don't feel like going out today. I don't feel like reading book today. I don't feel like in business. Daily method of operation in business, as far as business. No, you already decide. This is what we are going to go. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. So he was so practical about it. Sometimes he went to go and preach, men hold him. So he must pay tax. Peter Buddha carry knife. Some people say, he said, but bros, me like that. Carry the pump. But say, Mona go fetch, go water, go find fish, come. You go see money, come, who pay tax. We go wait. The guy waits. One day, one go preach. And so them block road. They don't call fire. Like we tell for mountain, like that. They say, Mona no call fire. I know the kind of people I carry. Mo just no go there. Mo go another city. So his daily operation was so strong. So write it down on note. Principle tells you what works, but the person shows you when and how it works. Write it down. Principles tells you what works. Principle tells you what works. The person shows you when and how it works. Principle tells you what works. Principle tells you what works, but the person shows you how and when it works. So as an entrepreneur, you don't just wake up and say, I have a business idea. I know what is going to work, but when it's going to work, how is it going to work? He said, I don't know. I don't know. My idea will work. No, not like that now. So he did something very interesting. So also, let's look at it in terms of transformation and optimization. So number 4, transformation and optimization. Transformation and optimization as a business person. Number 4, transformation. Transformation versus, sorry, this is supposed to be versus here. Let me use black marker here. It's supposed to be versus optimization. So transformation and optimization. So as a person, like me and you, as a principle. Okay, so as a person, he transformed his leader's character, mindset, and identity. So he transformed his leader's character, leader's character. He transformed his leader's character, command mindset, and identity. Mindset and identity. So he shifted them from thinking small, from fishing and from turning them from fishing to fishers of men. So you keep transforming them like that. He said, Peter, you don't go to fish again, you turn to fishers of men. So he transformed his leader's character, mindset, and identity. The suddenly he said, Peter, do you love me? Feed my sheep. When the guy, that time Peter deny him. When the guy come raise up, they come meet Peter. I said, bros, how come? You love it doubt me? He said, yes, I feed my sheep. Ask him 3 times. He said, you love me? He said, yes, I feed my sheep. No go that way again. Follow this way. So he keep transforming people's life. That's why all your leaders coming to you should never leave you the same way. They should leave you inspired, burden lifted, of course, taking powerful strength to become more. A lot of people become source of energy to transform life. That when someone meet to give him book to read, give him direction, give him guidance, just make sure his life become better as a person. That's how we're supposed to emulate. Make sure nobody leaves you the same way he meets you. He leaves you empowered, leave you inspired, leave you liberated. So he did something else as a principle. He optimized his business system, process and productivity. So he optimized his business, he optimized his okay, the business process and productivity. Optimize the business processes, processes S here, processes, comma, system and productivity, system and productivity, productivity. Say, okay, we're going to meet on the upper room. We're going to discuss. Tonight, one of you that will dip hand first will betray me, and then when I'm when I'm crucified, I'll be raptured. I'll rise. I'll 3 days. I'll rise. Now, Peter said, "Bros, don't be like that now. You know, go die now, bros. Calm down." He said, "No, get thee behind me, Satan." So you're gonna see this is telling you how the thing will be. That's what it will be. That's what I'll go there. So I'm going to tell you for Judah. You tie in the upper room. You tie here. So you wait till until I receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. I will speak in tongues, guidance, optimization, productivity. See, you go to use that. So you give direction. So it's very important that you tell the production manager in your company, this is what you want to do. This is a procurement officer. This is a production. This is a marketing. Just make sure there's a productivity going on as a person. So as a principle in terms of transformation and optimization. So he was focusing on uh, 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 business processes, system, and productivity. So write it down, very important. A transformed leader builds a sustainable and impactful business for wealth. A transformed leader